This video is sponsored by Shri Vijayalakshmi Silks KB Road, Mass Tiles and Sanitation, Hayat Hospitals, RK Constructions and NPS Degree College.
Dear friends, today I am going to talk about what is COVID-19 or coronavirus, how it transmits, what are the signs, what are the symptoms, and how it is impacting on education. So to begin with, what is COVID-19? As of all of you know, it's a new virus or a novel virus which belongs to the same family of SARS, that is severe acute respiratory syndrome. In another term, it can be called as some types of common cold. Now, when you should know that the disease has affected you or when it should alarm you, what are the signs or what are the symptoms? So, what are the more common symptoms you may get when you acquired the infection? So, the more common symptoms are fever, dry cough and tiredness. And the less common symptoms which may manifest in these patients are aches and pains, that is generalized body pain. There will be sore throat, there will be diarrhea, conjunctivitis, headache, and some people may experience loss of taste or loss of sense of smell. And some people may also notice a rash on the skin or discoloration of the fingers or the toes. But when this disease manifests in the serious form, the people may have shortness of breath or difficulty in breathing, and some patients may also feel chest pain or pressure on the chest, and you may also lose speech, you may also lose the movements. Now, how it transmits? So there are different modes of transmission. One is direct mode of transmission, that is whenever someone coughs or sneezes, there will be a respiratory droplet. That means it when the person coughs or sneezes, there will be a formation of the respiratory droplets, and when someone comes in contact with it, you may acquire the infection. And there is another form of transmission, that is indirect. That means when you touch any surface which is contaminated by the virus, you may acquire the infection. Now, how it is impacting globally and as well as in India. So, as of 12 September 2020, there are nearly 2 crores 82 lakh 85,700 confirmed cases of COVID-19 and nearly 9 lakh 11,275 deaths has occurred. When you see in India, nearly 46 lakh 59,984 confirmed cases are there and nearly 77,472 deaths has been occurred in India. Now we should know which people or which age group are at higher risk. So as of today, what we know about the disease is affecting mostly the older people, that is people at the age of 60 and above, and also the people with chronic conditions, for example diabetes mellitus, heart diseases. So these people are at higher risk. Children's, as far as till today, there are less number of cases. So still there are ongoing studies, that is which age is at higher risk. So what is the impact on education? So according to UNESCO, that is United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization report, it has affected nearly 290 million students across 22 countries. And in India, it has affected nearly 32 crore students, including students in the schools and colleges. So what is the socio-economic impact of this pandemic on the families and the wider communities and its effect on education? So this important consideration you must understand. There will be a lot or lots of school dropouts or transfers will be increased during crises as families have low income and are forced to leave the affected areas, and they will resort to negative coping mechanisms such as child labor, inequalities, and female vulnerability will be increased. Gender-based violences will be increased, including sexual and domestic violences. And there will be incidences of early marriage and pregnancies. And you must also understand that the teachers will face mechanisms due to this crisis because they will lose jobs or there will be no job for the teachers, as institutes will not be having much enough resources to pay the salaries. So now what we have understood with this crisis is we have got a transformation from the oldest chalk talk method to the digital platform. Now what are the drawbacks of this digital platform? So what I want to share you is online classes are not capable of substituting classroom lectures, wherein the former is very seldom able to generate the interaction that is needed in the class. And moreover, the teacher's body language, which is a part and parcel of classroom lectures and is imperative for their success, is also missing in online classes. And the use of technology will not only lead to more discrimination, but also will create some practical problems. For example, there are some classes such as lab-based classes which cannot be conducted online because labs in every homes cannot be constructed, and some mathematical lectures which need demonstration cannot also be conducted online. So there will be a lack of desired interaction in the class, and because of lack of educational environment there will be a more number of dropouts, and there will be a postponement of interim exams as they cannot be conducted online. So we have to encourage families, caregivers to start schools as per the district authorities' plans. So there are certain highlights or there are certain instructions which has to be maintained for maintaining safe school operations or reopening schools after a closure, and this requires many consideration. But if done well, we can also promote public health. So what are the checklists for administrators, staff and teachers? So the administrators, staff and teachers should understand to promote and demonstrate regular hand washing and positive hygiene behaviors, and also monitor the student uptake, that is the diet uptake, and also ensure adequate clean separate toilet for girls and boys, and they should encourage frequent and thorough washing. Thorough washing in the sense at least a student should wash for 20 seconds, and place hand sanitizers in the toilets, classrooms, halls and near exits, and as well as wherever possible. More important, clean and disinfect school buildings, classrooms, especially water and sanitation facilities at least once in a day. And particularly, you should disinfect the surfaces that are touched many times by many people. For example, railings, lunch table, sports equipment, door and window handles, toys, teaching and learning aids, etc. To disinfect this, we have to use sodium hypochlorite solution at a concentration of 0.5% for the surfaces, and 70 to 70% ethyl alcohol for disinfecting small items, and ensure appropriate availability of equipment for cleaning staff. As well, increase airflow and ventilation where climate allows. Example, open windows, use air conditioning wherever possible. And post signs, for example, if somebody has acquired the infection and now they have come to schools and colleges after coming as negative, we should as a staff or administrator encourage them good hand hygiene practices as well as respiratory hygiene practices. And trash, we have to remove daily and disposed of safely. Now what is the checklist for students? In a situation like this, the students has to understand that it is normal to feel sad, worried, confused, scared or angry. Know that, and you should also understand that you are not alone, and talk to someone you trust like your parent or your teacher or your health advisor. Okay, whenever in doubt, ask question, educate yourself and get information from the reliable sources, and protect yourself and others by washing your hands frequently, always with the soap and water at least for 20 seconds as I have already said. And remember, do not touch any surface, and whenever you touch any surface by chance, do not touch your face, eyes or nose. Okay, and do not share your cups, eating utensils, food or drinks with others. And one more important thing is, be a leader in yourself, in keeping yourself, your school, family and community health. Share what you have learned for this disease. that what this disease is, how it transmits, what are the symptoms. Share with your family and friends, especially with the younger children. Be a model for good practices such as sneezing and coughing. So whenever you sneeze and cough, what is the practical approach is you should sneeze and cough in your elbows, okay, and wash your hands so as to protect your young family members. And one more thing, do not stigmatize your peers or tease anyone who is being sick. Remember that the virus does not follow geographical boundaries, it does not follow ethnicities, it does not follow age or gender. It can affect to anyone. So do not tease anyone. And tell your parents, another family members or caregiver if you feel sick, and stay home. So with this small information, I would like to bring to your attention that COVID-19 is a very fatal disease and we have to live with the disease till we get some vaccine, okay, or any other proven treatment. Still lot of researchers are going on treatment and vaccines, and they are yet to come. So by then, be safe, wear mask whenever in crowded places, and be at a distance at least at 2 feet, okay, 2 meters, that is 6 feet. Thank you one and all.